For your next step, this is going to be where you're going to now add in the back piece now that you've got your front two with your pockets sewn in on both sides. So we're going to attach our inseams for both the left and the right pant, and this is where the inside leg is. So take both of your pieces and you're going to take the back piece and you're going to split this in half, and you're going to place the pattern side down to the pattern side, and this is going to allow you to make sure that your seam is on the inside. And when you lay these out, you're going to notice, so inside to inside, but you're going to notice that your pants on the other parts of your pants are not going to line up. That is totally fine. You're going to line up the corner here all the way down to the bottom of the leg, and your legs should match in size. And go ahead and make sure that they fit well. You may have to kind of move the fabric over, but you will notice again, these are not going to line up, and that's okay because the back of your pant is going to be slightly larger than the front of your pant. So once you get these lined up, again, you're going to notice the crotch doesn't line up. It's just the inseam that we're looking for here. And I'm going to pin, and I'm going to do this to both sides. Now that both sides are pinned, you're going to sew the inseams. You're going to want to make sure your settings are set to the same that you've been using for the majority of the projects. You're also going to want to make sure you reverse on the start of this and keep the bulk of the pant out of the center of the machine. So I'm just going to reverse here real quick and then sew the entire inseam of the pants at a 5/8 inch inseam or seam allowance, and this is going to make sure that your project lines up like it should according to the pattern. So go ahead and do this for both legs. Now that both legs have the inseam sewn in them, we're going to work on the outside seam of putting the pants together. You're going to take the two pieces that you've created and you're going to lay one face up and then one face down, because our next step in this is going to be to sew the crotch of the pants up, and this is the seat of the pant. And so you're going to lay these out. Doesn't matter which leg you lay out first, but lay them out nice and straight. Get a good wide surface to do this, and you're going to lay again the bottom side up and then take the next side. You're going to lay it over the top of that, and you're matching the U in the pant. And again, this is going to be for the inseam. So laying it over, and you should make sure that the back of the pant is with the back of the pant and the pocket is with the pocket. This is going to make sure that both of your pockets are on the front of your pants and both of your backs are in the back of your pant. You're going to want to make sure that you line up that inseam so that whenever you sew over it, the inseam is sewn at the same location. So you should see that the notches are lining up on these two pairs of pants. And again, pocket and pocket should be over the top of each other, and back of pant to back of pant over the top of each other. Otherwise, you're going to have a leg on a pocket on the back and a pocket on the front, and that's not what we want. So now you're going to start at the top of this U, and you're going to pin all the way around. For your next step, when you start sewing, again, you're going to work with a 5/8 inch seam allowance, keeping the bulk of the pant out of the center. So starting with usually the front works better unless it's flipped around, and making sure that those two lines line up. I also would highly suggest making sure that you flip one of the inseams one way and one of the inseams the other way. So it makes kind of like a little plus sign with one of them laying over the top one way and one laying over the top the other way. This makes it to where you're only sewing through 4 pieces of fabric at a time versus 8 at a time. Removing pins as you go. And I would also highly recommend that once you get to this inseam portion, that you reverse over the back of it. So reverse after you go over the seam. And this is to make sure that, because this is where the most tension is going to happen. And again, this is just me explaining. You're going to fold one way and then the back the other way. And that way you're only sewing through 4 pieces at a time. And when you get here, just go ahead and stop, reverse over that, and then keep going. And this ensures that you just have a little bit more support for any tension that's created if you sit like crisscross applesauce when you are in your pajama pants. After you get done with each of your seams, really check to make sure that you don't have any holes or gaps, because any holes or gaps that you have in your seams are going to create holes or gaps in your pants. And don't forget to trim your strings as you go. This really helps make your project clean as you are working on it. The next part of the project, you're going to do the out seams of the pants, so the outer seam of the pants. So you're going to unfold these and fold them back where you have both of your prints facing each other, on the legs being both left and right. So unfold and then refold. Once you get your pieces put together, you're going to want to make sure that the top of the pocket is aligned with the top of the back pant, and that makes up the entire side of the leg. And you're going to pin this all the way down, and they should line up well. Again, your seam on this is going to be 5/8 of an inch, and they should match up accordingly. For this, you're going to make sure that you have the front of the pant lined up with the back of the pant for both the left and right sides. And this is going to be a straight stitch all the way down from top to bottom on both legs. And this is the last part of kind of assembling the main part of your pants. From here, we will work on the waistband, adding the hole for elastic, as well as adding and hemming the pants. So this is the bulk of the pant project. Again, just pinning down as you go, making sure those fabrics align well. You're really going to want to make sure that your pocket is aligned well. If it is not, you'll end up with some gaps in there, and you want to make sure that that doesn't happen. And all the way down to the end. And you're going to do a 5/8 inch, again, seam allowance for this. So here we go, ready to sew the pants. Again, I'm going to reverse at the top just to make sure that I have set that seam in. And making sure that you're incorporating that pocket as well.